Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 Help.
That's right. Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Since 1947, Taylor 500 Help has been helping everyone in Rochester make sure they're nice and toasty warm in the winter and cool in the summer. You know, heating and air conditioning, a big thing, especially if your furnace isn't working right. You want someone that can come out, fix it, not add on the extras, and Taylor Heating and Plumbing obviously can do that. Make Taylor your furnace repair shop and your one-stop shop for water heaters with Bradford White water heaters. And if you're looking for a job, home energy techs, HVAC technicians, plumbers, Taylor Heating and Plumbing is looking for you. So you want to make sure that your furnace is running great. Have Taylor come out, take a look at it. Make sure that Kimberly's Revolution, you make sure you tell them that you listen to our podcast. It's Taylor 500 Help. And if you're looking for snow blowers, we got our first little taste of snow in Rochester, New York yesterday. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster, 195 North Avenue in Webster since 1969, providing Rochester and surrounding areas sales, service, and parts. They have big snow blowers. You're going to need those in Rochester. Snow blowers, they got them. Chainsaws got them. Blowers, lawn mowers, all makes and models. On sale models. They have everything you need at Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. Make sure you talk to Kimberly and Justin, and they will set you up with the snowblower for your needs. And Express Sealers, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. When they're not sealing driveways, they're removing snow from driveways and your business parking lots. So residential and business on the east side. We're talking Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, Irondequoit. It's Express Sealers. Call them, set them up today, because you need those guys to come out and set the little sticks in right along your driveway. I mean, at some point, we're going to get more than a dusting, and you're going to need Brian at Express Sealers, 645-2010. Please support our advertisers. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny 48-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Gobble, gobble.
Hey, where the hell have you been? Here she is. She's back. It's Kimberly Ray.
I've been working for you and taking classes. Gobble, gobble. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, as I said to everyone on my little FaceTime Live. I got to go home and cook and drink.
Biggest drinking day of the year.
It is the biggest drinking day of the year, isn't it? Or it used to be when we were in college. Exactly. I don't know if it's so much it is a big, is it still the biggest party night of the year?
I believe it is.
Well, let's just say
the night before Thanksgiving.
It was always fun. The best part of it was coming home during the college years. Right?
Yeah, of course.
It was when all your friends, well, I lived at home. I went to St. John Fisher locally, but when all my friends came home from college, we all got together on this night. It was always the best night of the year. Biggest
traveling day of the year, of course. 50 million Americans traveling, 50 million Americans on the roadways. I'm not traveling anywhere.
COVID spreaders.
We're all COVID spreaders. Damn us. Right? Are you traveling anywhere?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave my bedroom, come downstairs, check on the turkey. That's about it.
That's a good thing to do. Yeah. You are listening to Kimberly's Revolution. You're listening and watching, hopefully, on the We the People Podcast Network.com. And of course, Chad Hummel sitting right across from me. He is an attorney and also owner of the Revere Realty Brokerage of Real Estate. And Tom.
Today I'm Tom Turkey.
You don't. No, you can't be.
Tom.
No, Tom decided this year he wasn't going to wear his little turkey outfit.
That's right. He had a nice turkey outfit last year.
It's in the car.
Yeah, it's in the car. A lot of good it does in the car.
See, he thinks he's a big shot now. A year later.
That's what I told him.
I thought we were beyond that.
I said, so it's over a year that we've been doing Kimberly's Revolution, and all of a sudden he's too big to wear the turkey costume.
Now he wears his Bills shirt for the loser Bills.
Yeah.
got to support.
How's that working out for you?
You got to rep up.
Of course, Austin is joining us as well. And Austin running things by us always, Austin, and his big thumbs up. We thank Austin for coming out and making sure everything runs great. And of course, Fitz at Rockbox Productions. If you, someone you know, your business, your corporation, your family wants to get together and do a podcast, Fitz at Rockbox Productions. That's ROCFOVOX. If I can spell ROCVOX. Fitz at Rockbox Productions will make everything happen to you. We also have a guest in studio today. Her name is Mary Ellen Belding, and Mary Ellen is joining us. I'm a follower of her on Twitter. I like Mary Ellen's Twitters. We're kind of the same mindset. We're kind of like I won't go as far as to say spirit animal because I don't know Mary Ellen yet.
So wait, are there going to be 2 people going to jail this evening?
But let me just say that if there's alpha females, we're alpha females. So
Been there, done that jail thing. I did not have
right.
time.
So I'm going to move the microphone right in front of you a little bit.
So Mary Ellen, are you related to Principal Belding? How often do you hear that?
Who is
It
Principal
rings in
Belding?
all the time.
So
Before your time.
Oh, okay. Mary Ellen ran a construction company here in Rochester for 30 years. And she was so successful that the big dogs wanted to take her down. And they did through fraud, through bid rigging, through criminal activity. And we're going to talk to Mary Ellen about, you're familiar, Chad, a little bit with Mary Ellen and the things that go on in the construction business.
100%.
And
yeah.
you can't let a successful woman out succeed a man. And they were out to make sure that they weren't going to let Mary Ellen succeed at what she did. And she's a whistleblower, of course, and helped the FBI. And we'll get into all that in just a little bit. There are things going on. It is the night before Thanksgiving. We hope all the patriots are having just a giant American bird for their table tomorrow. We hope everyone gets to wherever they're going safely. A couple of things that have happened within the last hour and a half is that there was a major, a jury has come back in a major trial that was taking place in Georgia. It's about as big as the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and jury verdict that came out last week. So this verdict came out this afternoon. And what we do know is that 3 Georgia men have all been found guilty in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. It was father and son, Gregory and Travis McMichael, and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryan.
Does this mean the criminal justice system is no longer racist?
Well, this was a correct verdict. And this is what gets me every time. This was a correct verdict. You can't only approve of the justice system when you agree with the verdict. You have to agree with the justice system as a whole, or you can't have a say.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't
You're
have it
either
both ways.
you're either in on the justice system or you're not. So what I will say is that this verdict was the correct verdict in Georgia with Ahmaud Arbery. And these 3 men should probably spend the rest of their years behind bars in prison somewhere. The verdict last week in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial
was wrong.
Was also the right verdict.
The criminal justice system is racist.
Right, but apparently, right?
Come on.
Get with the
program, Kimberly.
I think this is where both juries got it right. They did their due diligence, although this Ahmaud Arbery trial verdict came back a lot sooner than Kyle Rittenhouse. I think Georgia was more cut and dried. I think that we could all look at that and look at the evidence and look at what transpired in Georgia and say to ourselves, that's a whole lot of wrong and a whole lot of that shouldn't have happened. And in Kyle Rittenhouse, I think we could also say that's a whole lot of wrong and that's a whole lot of shouldn't have happened.
Do you
right?
think it's fair to say that the media focus on the trial in Georgia wasn't as
not nearly as
high profile?
Yeah. As Kyle Rittenhouse.
Now, maybe
absolutely.
this is a stretch then, but maybe that's why the jury verdict took so long in the Rittenhouse case, because those jurors in that community, the spotlight was laser focused on that community.
To the point where an MSNBC
those jurors knew what was going on.
An MSNBC reporter followed the jury bus as it was leaving the courthouse to get pictures of the jury.
Yeah. So the
I mean-
media, the media went out of its way to try to affect the outcome of that trial.
They did.
And it appears that
They
those
did.
jurors probably knew that, and
yeah.
human nature is
And we're
such,
scared.
yeah, that they were worried.
Right.
They were worried about their verdict. So they probably took some extra time. In Georgia, the media focus wasn't as laser bright. So they just did what they knew was right. They had the facts. They watched the trial. The law was clear, and
Right.
and they came to their verdict as quickly as they needed to come to it.
Right, without a doubt. And so I think the juries both did a great job, both in Georgia and in Wisconsin. I mean, whether you and there have been a lot of people that said what he did was Kyle Rittenhouse. What he did was wrong. Well, the jury disagreed.
Yeah, because anytime
And that's really all
anytime
there
you're
is
laying
to-
on your back and there's somebody pointing a gun at you, I mean, clearly you should just get
Self-defense.
shot in the face,
Right,
right?
right,
not-
I guess
and
you
not
should
do
let
anything
them,
about
right,
it. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
that's obvious.
There are a couple of pictures. I do believe that after the verdict, the next day, Kyle Rittenhouse and his family went down to Georgia, and they had breakfast, and then they met with former President Trump. And here's the picture. That is real. That is a real live picture of Kyle Rittenhouse and President Donald Trump.
Looks like his VP for 2024.
I know.
That's what it looks like to me.
Poor kid does not look 18. Poor kid looks like he's aged about 10 years in a matter of a year, doesn't it?
Well, the good thing is he also aged in wisdom
Yes.
throughout the course of this trial, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you have that situation. And here's the funny thing.
Did you say that was in Georgia?
It was in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay.
Yeah, they went down to Florida the next
Same
day. I think
thing, right?
yeah, exactly.
In fact, there's a country band called the Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, exactly. Here's this kid that I think his bail was $2 million. Right, $2 million.
Is that how much it was?
It was crowdsourced. They
Did
were able to
Kamala
get him.
Harris raise it?
They were able to get him out of jail on the 2 million bail because
Holy
they
shit.
crowdsourced the bail. This is a kid with no record, 17 years old, no history of violence.
I think I know where you're going with
no
this.
nothing, no history of violence, no lengthy criminal record, no time in juvie,
No risk of flight,
no right,
which is the main reason for bail.
has never abused anyone. Didn't do anything like that. Family lives in Kenosha. His mom lives across the state line, about the distance from Irondequoit to Chili, give or take, is how far his mom lives in Illinois.
Don't
from
ever
the dad
use
in
Irondequoit and Chi Line in the same sentence.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It's offensive to
But
me.
anyway, so here's
Why, Chad? Because
You know-
one's a Republican town, and now Irondequoit is a
that's
Republican
right.
town.
We got Rory now.
so you have the Kenosha, Wisconsin, and you have the Waukesha situation, where in Waukesha, Wisconsin, you have a guy with a criminal record that goes back to 1999, who is a predicate felon, who was out on bail for multiple violations, just from the summer alone, multiple felony violations, including November 2nd, where he took that same SUV that this guy drove through a Christmas parade in Waukesha and killed 6 people. He was out on bail $1,000
That's like what, 1 Bitcoin?
for trying to run over his baby mama with the same SUV, which prior to trying to run her over, he had beat the living bejesus out of her in front of their baby. So so not only do you have the guy out running around, he had just tried to stab her, which is the situation that he was running from when he plowed his SUV through that Christmas parade. Don't ask me why they were having a Christmas parade way before Thanksgiving. I don't know. Someone mentioned that to me. They're like,
That's a good question.
isn't it weird that they would have a Christmas parade the weekend before Thanksgiving? But nonetheless.
Well, and there's people that put up their Christmas trees
Okay, I did.
right after Halloween.
I did not
Well-
do that. But I did put up, some of the stuff. But I will just say that the system is seriously flawed.
you think?
That kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, the bail was $2 million. No previous prior criminal history. And then you have a career criminal who, after he tried to run over his baby mama, he was put out on $1,000 bail.
Did you see the judge's remarks? That I'll try to find them real quickly, but I came across a statement I don't know if it was on a social media account,
Mhm.
but the judge who had set that bail, that $1,000 bail, is on the record back, I don't know, maybe about a decade ago when he first ran for his judgeship.
Mhm.
And he essentially was bragging that, that this was his stance on bail, and that perhaps someday his stance on bail might lead to somebody being out that otherwise would be in custody, and they may kill somebody, but so be it. This is where, this is what it is.
Oh boy.
He's on the record
Oops.
in those exact words.
That's
Let me,
not good.
Yeah, let me try to find that.
That's not good.
So he's not going to get reelected.
In the
Oh
meantime.
no, he will.
In the meantime,
Make no mistake,
he will.
he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have do we have the meme? There's been a million memes. I don't know about you, Mary Ellen, but how I found you on Twitter, but I enjoy looking at the memes that are on Twitter. Do you?
I love them.
Have you
I
you
make some.
do you make them?
It's my evil.
It's- oh,
You're the
okay.
meme generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has to make them.
For
Let-
Who knew?
PTSD, that's my new therapy.
Can we see the Time magazine? There he is. Time
Oh, this is awesome. I
to
saw
get paid.
this.
It's like I
Oh.
think it's right there on your
Okay.
screen. Yeah, Time to get paid. Kyle Rittenhouse on Time magazine, and I do believe that we have the Rittenhouse not guilty. Do we have that video real quick that we can show?
Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Not guilty. All counts. He falls the ground.
You know what I want to say about that?
Yeah, go ahead and stop that.
So if you notice, of course, right around the time that the clerk read the not guilty on the fourth count, that's when you can start to visually see him become emotional.
Right.
And what that made me recognize right in that moment was this. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a certain group segment of the population and the
Mhm.
media mocked the fact
Yeah.
that he became emotional when he testified,
Correct.
right? So even the people on the
Said
other
it was fake. Said
Yeah,
said he was acting.
absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
And for a fleeting moment, I went back and watched that testimony to kind of let me watch it again and see if I sense any, faking, so to speak, right? And I didn't.
right.
I didn't. But then you watch how he reacted to that verdict. And if there was any doubt whatsoever that his emotion when he was testifying was legitimate,
Mhm.
it's entirely ratified in
Right.
that moment because you can't fake that emotion.
Right.
That's the emotion of somebody who went through the most traumatic experience
Right.
that anyone could possibly go through, right? Other than, losing a loved one. And he broke down entirely organically. It just proves that,
Right.
because otherwise he would have stood there and he would have been smiling and he would have been spiking the football and his hands would have gone up in the air and he probably would have taunted the prosecutor and said, see, I told.
But
No.
he didn't do any of that.
It
He
was
fell to the floor.
consistent. It was
Yes.
consistent
Yes.
with what his emotions were when he testified,
Yes.
consistent with how he reacted when he was vindicated. It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand.
It does.
His life was on the line.
100%. Yeah.
100%. When you say life and death, and maybe this is a good lead in. I don't really prepare for anything, but I had that same
That
thing.
makes two of us.
Well, it pretty much goes with the package. I got to tell
But you did. I mean, Mary Ellen, you had that same situation where you're basically
My
your
life was
life
on the line.
is there with the potential
Everything.
for everything to be taken away.
Preet Bharara, I made a RICO complaint to Preet Bharara. I mean, there was investigations and federal and US DOJ, and I was federal witness. I mean, you name it. It was bizarre. I still have a hard time. Thank God.
You're not
kept
wearing a
record.
microphone right now, are you?
Testing.
Let's
Are you there, boys? No,
let's-
they don't talk to me anymore.
let's
They
give a
don't like
little
me either.
update as
Can I
to
just finish that thought? though,
yeah.
real
Go
quick?
ahead. Yeah.
Is that I made a RICO complaint to Preet Bharara. Preet Bharara was investigating some of this stuff. He was the Southern District of New York, U.S. Department of Justice.
Correct.
In case he was the top cop. He was the one that was going after a lot of this stuff.
Appointed by Obama.
Exactly. I got his personal email address from a friend. I sent my RICO complaint in to him. About 2 weeks later, I got a phone call, and I'm probably going to start to cry now. I got a phone call that they were taking my case. This was like in 18, maybe. I'd been going through retaliation since 11. I just was beside myself. So she was from Albany, okay, and the other, Preet was from Manhattan. So she has to talk to my attorney. So I'm waiting. My life is on the line, literally. I had been to lawyers and all kinds of investigations. All my information's credible, but we're just not going to help you. It's just the way it is. So, okay. So to get back to Mr. Rittenhouse there, when she made that phone call to me, she gave me my life back. I fell to the ground just like he did and sobbed until I could compose myself.
Sure.
Because my life was on the line, my family, everything. And I kept waiting. She had to talk to my attorney. And now I'm flipping out, right? Sorry. I won't go down my I hate attorney thing. I promise. No. So anyway, I'm waiting for my attorney to
Don't
make
worry,
this
I hate
call
lawyers too.
to the U.S. Department of Justice to federally investigate the bazillions of crimes against me. I don't get any response. I don't get any answer. About 2 weeks later, a judge gave me like the backdoor number to get a hold of them. And the assistant U.S. attorney out of Albany told me, don't call here again. We are never going to help you. Click.
Wow.
And if I told you how many times I got that phone call, the agencies that I went to, because I was a federal contractor, and I didn't mean to take off with your show.
Yeah,
I just
no,
want to tell you about the emotion
that goes into
that
something like
goes
that.
into it. Your life is on the line. I guess I could have been shorter.
Sure. Well, hey, but I wanted to give a little background of you. So so Mary Ellen, for all of our people who watch and listen to Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network.com, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and whatever. Mary Ellen Belding had your own construction business.
I was
right?
in construction and
For 30
management
years.
For 30 years.
Yeah,
I
in
owned
fact-
my own business. I started to incorporate in 2008.
In fact, you were the former president of Structural Remediation Services Incorporated. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Yes, I was.
And so, I mean, you were a woman business owner. You were playing with the men. I mean, there were so many male-dominated, companies out there, and you took a big step into a male-dominated world. And
I
you were
was
very successful.
I was wonderful to them as long as I was their employee. The second I signed my corporation papers, it was over.
So Mary Ellen Belding was so successful that the other corporations owned by men said, we can't have this. So basically, you said, what people do is that these corporations and some contractors hire women and minorities to get big grants for big projects, and then they don't pay you. And that way they can put you out of business. Is that correct?
That's pretty much.
And-
That's shorter story. But there's a lot of other things that they do unconscionable.
So tell your story. I mean, what happened to you?
What happened to me, and this is, I think, an important part that I really want to get across, is I just didn't wake up one day, stub my baby toe and decide to open my company. I was fraudulently induced by my employer under the muse of rewarding me for my years of service and support to the company and my dedication. And he was going to mentor me to begin my own construction company, commercial construction. I had been in safety and in management in construction my entire career. And I won awards, had accolades, was on committees. Very unusual, but for some reason, that's the role I got put into. So we came now, all this alleged opportunity for women and minorities because of past discretions and not really leveling the playing field. All of a sudden, it's coming from Washington. going through Governor Como, and we'll get back to that, down to municipalities. There's trillions, billions of dollars in grant money, construction money, infrastructure, shovel ready. It all involved the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. So, make a long story short, everybody is knocking on the door to start a business. And I remember one of the attorneys saying to me, "You're the golden egg." I was one of the few people who had a legitimate career in construction, all on paper, right? All over. Most of the companies, and I would have never believed this, were fraud. And not only were they fraud, but the government set them up to be fraud.
I was going to say, you mean when you say fraud, they were set up as shell companies, essentially.
Right. Front companies, shell companies.
Yes.
So I'm
Pass through
Pass-through companies.
for money.
Pass-through, thank you.
Pass-through companies. Yep.
I mean, I was a compliance and safety officer my entire career, risk manager, and now you pick me to break the law? Are you kidding me? Seriously.
Did they think that you would just go along to get along?
I was going to say, go along to get along.
Because it would make you money, and when you push back about not being paid and threw a fit about it, then they said, well, let's get her on the back end.
It was a few things. And I'm so, I look back now and I'll mention this too. I was probably your favorite bartender at the convention center every Wednesday night or at Hitchcock's, because I tended bar at both places for about 20 years part-time to, kind of balance the construction witch.
Sure.
But anyway, I digress. So what it really is they
We
never
like
had.
bartenders.
We do.
Yeah, and I'm good at it. I bought my house, but it's another story. So what happened is I was a good employee, and as a woman, I think you can imagine, and I just couldn't slack in, carrying my pumps after a big night out. I had to be at the gate at 5:00 in the morning. I had to, keep up, bite my tongue, which is fine. I loved what I did. I loved what I did. And I know I made a difference, and I was rewarded for it by these monsters. But I didn't know they were monsters because they kept that from me. And I was a safety compliance person that was keeping them out of lawsuits, keeping them out of.
They loved you.
They loved me.
They loved you.
And the insurance companies loved me and even more because they had no losses. They were getting safety awards. Anyway, I'm really bragging.
So they put you. So you started a company because they said, "Hey, listen,
look at her. Look what she's
right?
Perfect. I'm Mary Ellen. Oh, I'm so glad you're doing this." And I ate it up. And now I'm the Florence Nightingale of women construction.
Because and it apply. Obviously they love the diversity that you provided,
right? And the legitimacy. I remember saying to me one time, "Nobody can ever challenge you." I had to go, I went through investigation. Every certification I got, I had to go through another investigation. So the guy from New York State Development or Empire Development, he gets on the phone with me and he says, "So, Miss President of National Association of Women in Construction, do you know the difference between concrete and masonry?" And I go, "Yeah, do you?" And that was the end of that. And I go, "Oh, I'm not getting that one." But I had credentials. No, the company.
Did you have pronouns?
Did you
Really, Chad?
Really, you're going to go down there? Did you see that glaze over there? And what are you guys drinking? Come on.
Yeah. Wait, yeah, they do.
What are you smoking? No,
Yeah. But when you set yourself up as a company. So you ran your company, you had your own company, and they came to you and they said what in order to
no, they didn't come to me. I started again. You pick the insurance investigator to screw.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden things weren't making sense. I'm looking at the bids and going, oh, wait a minute, those numbers don't add up. There's more floors there than that. Or, wait a minute, that's not, there's $10,000 missing from this check. Where'd the $10,000 go? Stuff like that. All of a sudden I went from kind of the queen bee at the company to now. These were guys that I worked with. I went to funerals with them. I went to hospitals with them. They're screwing me. These are my friends, my coworkers out drinking. They were screwing me.
Did you confront them?
Oh, it wasn't pretty.
What happened when you confronted these guys that they
gaslighted me pretty much most of the time, telling
to
me
make you were crazy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but they forgot who they were dealing with. You see,
Sure.
I'm the one that taught him how to record conversations. Duh. You know, what did they think? It's like, did you think once I signed my name to those corporation papers, signed the check of my, life savings, that all of a sudden I had a lobotomy? And that's where it went. But it got even worse, believe it or not, is that Governor Como's chief of staff from Rochester, everybody started courting me from Governor Como's office. Like what? And Eric Schneiderman, the attorney general. I'm like, it wasn't about personal pride. Okay. It was about the opportunity for women showing we could do it. Right. Not a pink hatter, but I worked really hard at this. And I ate a lot of shit for a long time from people and worked really hard and jeopardized my family to succeed. And now they are screwing with me big time. People that I loved. So anyway, then Como comes to me and he wants me to be his poster girl for a successful woman in construction. I'm like, my God, right? And I'm thinking to myself,
The governor. That's a huge thing.
I get invited, and I'm going to tell you where I got invited to because I didn't get the address. I had to follow them there. So I can't make it up. I can't make it up.
Did they put a bag over your head?
It's a funny story. I'll tell you later because I
white
can't
spit
say
hood.
this. I can't say it on the air, but I got to tell you a really funny story later. So I'm not as evil as I seem. So anyway,
Neither am I.
yeah, I
Yes,
heard. I know
yes, you
stories.
are.
I heard. Things.
Yeah, right.
So all of a sudden I'm getting invited to all these things, blah blah blah, and Governor Como is now announcing that he increased the women percentage in new contracts coming to 30%, and I went, aha. Well, and then it just turned out to be a shit show. They were doing things to intentionally destroy the women and minority companies here. I mean, bad. Nothing. It is.
So it was
something-
all a charade.
Not only was it a charade,
None of it was
the
real.
charade was bad. But what they were intentionally doing, they'd get us into a contract. Now, people can't be. I was unique. I had all the management, all the legal, all the things you need, right, to be successful that they hire somebody for.
Yeah, you weren't just a classic front person. You actually knew what you were doing. They picked the wrong person,
They
really.
picked the wrong person. Well, I said that to him, and you want to know what he said to me? He said,
Can we do it in Chad's impression?
Oh, okay. I'll beat you until you break, just like I did Mark Pulley Blank. And
Nice.
that was a guy that he beat the crap out of. And he did. Oh, the things he did to me, that man did to me. It's a monster. And I'm not afraid. I said it to his face. How could you take somebody's life? I was a married mother, grandmother, on boards of the YMCA, worked downtown at Sanctuary Village. How could you take somebody that you knew was honest and had a level of integrity? How could you decide to
Greed.
manipulate them? It's more than that.
Greed.
It's misogyny. I'm sorry. How could he knew my husband, my son cleaned his yard at 8 years old. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I get very emotional about this. And then now I got all these people coming to me. I had somebody else that started to tell you this. I'm glad I could say the word. So he said to me, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a makeover on you. We're going to teach you how to walk and talk. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me?
Who
Do I
said
look
this
like-
to you?
So I said, he's going on and on of all the things he's going to do. And I go, I got to tell you something. I've been in construction almost 30 years, and the chances of me getting a sentence out without saying fuck are slim to none. So I don't think I'm your girl. These people were just going to come and tell me
What to say
what
and how
to
to
say,
act.
what to do. They didn't want a legitimate woman in construction. And the thing of it was, I had a structural engineer. I had a civil engineer. I had a controller. I had more certifications, and I know we did, our company. Our company had more certifications than any other woman or minority and possibly male-owned company as far as concrete, masonry, post-tensioning. And I do have to say that Dan Hogan he did guide me on where to go, but I took it. It was me. I'm the one that took the classes. I'm the one that took the tests. And they decided they were going to use that, my life, my finances that I worked 2 jobs for my whole life. And they were going to set me up to be like traffic me. Okay. They wanted
Right.
to traffic me.
Exactly.
Maybe when I was 20, 30, Are you kidding me? And I worked my whole life so they could be, and they didn't want anybody. They had I would figure things out. We exceeded our goals. We exceeded our goals. We exceeded our goals. So I would research stuff. They put goals in this federal money that they had to comply with. And it was all false reporting. Even the state was doing it. I've got congressional reports. I've got state reports. This was well known.
So in the end, Mary Ellen, with your construction company and with these men that you worked with, you had contracts with, and that you got involved in projects with, how much money were they into you for? I mean, they owed you thousands of dollars that they'd never paid you. Is that correct?
Almost $1 million.
Almost $1 million
Almost
that
$1
they
million.
never paid you.
Besides the legal fees, which were all fraudulent, bogus, fictitious.
I think the tweet that really kind of, drew me into you was you had mentioned Mayor Lovely Warren, who is soon to be the former Mayor Lovely Warren, and you made an allegation that Mayor Lovely Warren's communication director and current deputy mayor James Smith violated the Freedom of Information law and attempted to extort $5,000 from you in response to your request for copies of documents. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
He wanted $5,000 for what? What documents? And why would it cost $5,000 for documents?
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it says right in their own regulations that if I gave them a medium, a CD or something, they'd put it on there for $1. It was intimidation. It wasn't the only time. FOIL requests, body cam disappeared, body cam films when I'm under my false arrest when I assaulted 6 police officers. Okay.
Did you?
Were you at a school board meeting?
Well, right.
I could be your girl.
Did you assault the 6 police officers?
Here's what happened. They said, "You're under arrest." And I said, "Okay, can you tell me why?" And he said, "Because he said so." Well, trigger.
What did I do? She's pointing at me. I'm scared.
So he said, "Put your hands behind your back." And I did. And
so you did comply.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And then did you ever hear of chicken winging? Did you ever hear about a chicken wing?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
A maneuver.
A maneuver that they use to justify.
I like
force.
them, but I don't know what it is.
They take your arm up behind your back. I put both the hands behind my back. Okay. Now, by the way, this is false arrest, but that's another story. So my hand, a citizen's false arrest. So my hand goes behind my back and they take it and they pull it up in a movement. You can find it online because I figured it out. Well, no, somebody told me about it, but they push it in a way. You lose your balance, you fall forward. It's a natural reaction to pull your arms and I'm screaming. I'm in pain. I had just had that shoulder operated on for a torn rotator cuff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm screaming, my rotator cuff. And they assaulted me. And now by this time, I was really, really sick. It's God's protection of my brain. I was terrorized so badly that I had amnesia. A lot of my short-term memory would just shut down. So I had to write everything down. It was part of my plan from my doctors. So everything was written down and I had a note in my hand and it was just a piece of paper. And that's how they have me struggling. And I'm screaming, my memory. That's all I have for my memory.
What were you charged with?
Trespassing.
Hey, we've heard that.
We have it. So
is that the go-to when they don't have anything?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? So
you want to know where? This is the beauty part of it. In the workers' compensation building, when I was trying to get my workers' compensation
On West Main
case.
Street?
Oh, yeah. That's another show. What I got.
So what you wanted from the mayor's office was a Freedom of Information Act documents, arrest report, and body cam footage.
Not in this particular one. There's dozens of FOIL requests that I made that they denied. Dozens. And with the communication behind them. This one in particular shouldn't have been a lot of documents at all, but I was starting to investigate the Rochester School Modernization Program.
The $1.3 billion modernization program?
That would be the one.
Yeah. And you were the whistleblower on that case. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was disclosed. It wasn't supposed to be. It was under a confidentiality.
Who disclosed
agreement.
it?
Rich Bell from Adams Bell Adams, Hogan's attorney, when they sued me for slander for participating as a federal witness against Hogan. And yes, we all, maybe not everybody knows,
Whose company was Hogan? That name,
Crane Hogan.
Crane Hogan.
So
Right.
there was bid rigging and kickbacks going on in the $1.3 billion modernization plan for the schools.
I can't get into specific detail because I was put under a confidentiality agreement 8 years ago, and I'm still under it.
Look, I can't get into specific details either, but
I can shake my head.
I don't know any details. So,
but I know firsthand myself in my legal career what Mary Ellen is talking about. I mean, this shit goes down, women aside, you know this shit goes down as we speak.
Mhm.
Literally,
going on
as
right
we
now.
sit here,
Everywhere.
there's money being exchanged, tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds or millions, being exchanged off the record, off the books, illegally. That is the fruits of these federal grants, these state grants. I was involved.
Taxpayer money.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you, and if you can't answer, obviously just say so. But at some point, were you directed to go see a particular lawyer or law firm to set up your company? The one that they wanted you to set up in order to do all of this?
Yes, and the accountant and the bank.
They directed you to this law firm.
Absolutely.
Can you say who the law firm is?
It was at the time Gates and Adams.
Okay. So I'll tell you this. When I was a young attorney, an individual came to me out of the blue,
Mhm.
right? When you're an attorney in a small practice or you're on your own, people don't come knocking on your door, right? It's not Wegmans. They don't come in to go
Right,
shopping.
right.
You're lucky if a family member refers you for a $20 will,
Sure.
right? But somebody literally came in off the street and asked me to set up an LLC for them. Well, it turns out, and I was young, green, naive. I didn't, I was just happy that somebody came in off the street and wanted me to do some legal work. Well, it turns out several years later, when the whole thing went down with Maggie Brooks and Comida and all of those shell entities that were investigated, I was reading the newspaper back when there was a newspaper in Rochester to read, when it didn't cost $3 a day to buy it and read it. And I was reading the newspaper, and that company that I participated in setting up was named as one of the bad actors
The Robitrad.
in
yeah.
the Robitrad. Thank you. I couldn't recall the name.
Robitrad.
Yeah, in the Robitrad scandal. I set up one of those companies. I personally set up one of those companies. And now, of course, it all came clear to me. This entity didn't come to me because they looked me up in the phone book and was like, oh, Chad Hummel sounds like a great lawyer. They came to me because somebody probably directed, for whatever reason, right? Go see this lawyer. He'll probably take your business, right? He'll
won't
set up your
ask any
company. He won't ask
questions.
any
He won't
questions.
ask
You won't
any
know any
questions, right.
different.
Right.
And you have your shell company set up. And then I recalled the conversations and a lot of things at that point made sense to me, that they were just coming to me because they were being directed to.
Yep.
In hindsight, I realized that this person that came to me to set up this particular LLC, they didn't really know what they were doing either. They were being directed by somebody above them to set up this LLC. It turns out it was one of the radio communication companies
Oh,
that
really?
the county was putting off the books at the time.
That's right.
That's what the county was notorious for doing, was putting all of these companies off of the budgetary books.
The
So that-
LCDs.
Correct.
And
So-
I got involved in that.
yeah,
If they're private, they take public funded
absolutely.
entities
And they put them off the books.
and they put them off the books.
Yes.
But then that's the great way that they can start laundering money back and
Yes.
forth, because the palms can get greased because there's no oversight.
And
Correct.
since you knew that, that's when they said,
you become a target.
she's not our hero or our girl Friday anymore. Mary Ellen Belding is a problem.
Oh,
So let's get rid of Mary Ellen Belding and let's take her company away and let's take her life away. And that's what they did.
and her health. It was all part of the playbook.
I mean,
Sure.
taking your life away, but you're here with us. So, I
Yes.
mean, we can say that, but you're not in the same condition. I mean, today that even you were 6 years ago. I saw a picture of you in 2014. You do not look like the same
I got-
woman today
I aged
of
quite
the,
a bit.
of
let
the
me tell
picture
you.
I saw you in 2014. This leveled you, what they did, and made it seem like, again,
These are sick fucking people.
that you
I
were the
was
bad
crazy.
person.
I was crazy. That's what she's crazy conspiracy theorist.
But
The
it's
stuff they
not
did
crazy.
was the lawyers was the worst of it, and the agencies.
Well, because they're paid off as well.
Yeah.
They
I
have
suppose
they
they
have it rigged at every turn.
Here's what I figured out. One of the things is, number one, I'm not a greedy person. I earned everything I got, and I never took a penny from anybody, and I never planned on it. And that's where Hogan made his mistake, is because he bought off everybody.
Mhm.
If there was, whatever, he found a way, and now you owed him. You owed him for life. I owed him nothing. Never took a dime, never wanted a dime. He embezzled the money he embezzled from me, and the way he took it is sickening. I hope no. So anyway,
Don't doubt it for a second.
but it's incestuous. I had no idea. The judges, I would say something to my attorney, and I'd catch her in a lie, and she's telling me, you're, rolling her eyes at me, you're crazy. So again, this was my career. My brain was patterned to go look it up. It was all lies. And I put it in emails. Sharon, did you ask the Department of Justice for my certification of federal witness immunity? Did you get the federal witness immunity yet? Did you get the federal witness? But I'm really sick. I'm going to go to sleep for 2 months, So anyway, I started to get real suspicious. I won't get into all the details, but I proved judicial fraud. And it's not just that they did it. The government induced me into this. They came to me. I was in a program sponsored by Louise Slaughter that just about destroyed me. Okay. They all brought me into this. They invited me to the dance. And if after all the years that people knew me, they didn't think I was going to fight back, shame on them. Don't be shame on me.
So-
All of a sudden. So anyway,
Mary Ellen, one of our patriots wants to know, did you ever get any help from anyone on this fight? Did anyone say, we're here for you legitimately, we're going to help you with this, it's wrong?
Simon DeGrump. Simon DeGrump, he's on Twitter and he's on Facebook. It's like a grumpy old man.
I do know him.
Yes, you
I
do.
don't know him, but
I've
I
heard
know
of Chad Day Grump.
No.
on Facebook.
I know the guy. I mean, I don't
Is he
know
the guy
he's
from
funny.
X Factor and
He's,
American
he's,
Idol?
he's amazing.
I can tell you I don't know who he is, but I know
And-
his Twitter handle.
He literally picked me up almost off the ground. I had done a job started a job at the marina for the city of Rochester. And typically what they do is they fraudulently induce you to sign the contract so they can turn the contract paperwork in so they can get the award and they can get the federal funding. Okay.
For
Well,
the
then-
diversity and women-owned, minority-owned business.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in some cases for their political position. Isn't
Sure.
that nice? So then what happened?
And that marina deal was Mayor Lovely Warren's baby. That whole, all
yeah,
of the
right
construction.
along with College Town and the U of R dormitory.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
where'd all this money go and who has it all? It went somewhere, right? You're not allowed to talk about that?
I know nothing.
Where did it
Remember
end up?
Sergeant Schultz?
I didn't get-
I do.
I know
nothing.
nothing.
I didn't get any of it. Did you get any of it, Kimberly?
I know I did.
No,
They're
I-
at me
let
for
me-
about $1 million.
Let me tell you what we did. We paid for it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We paid for it. We
Nine-
didn't get any money. We didn't get
9/10
anything.
of the money's in Florida, right? These politicians.
Is it at
these
Mar-a-Lago?
attorneys, They escape with it
I
to
don't know.
Florida.
I think it's in offshore accounts personally. There's a lot of ways to launder money.
Someone
Lots
knows who
of
Simon
ways.
DeGump is.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So he picked me up. Oh my God. My girlfriend Pam, this is an incredible story. You have to listen to this one. Pam Marcotte was the lead architect, the managing architect for the city of Rochester. Incredible, talented woman. She's working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. She's on a job. We're both on a job. Hadn't met each other. And I overhear a conversation with Dan Hogan, with her boss, to take her down. She was managing a parking garage project, and they were, apparently she was enforcing the project specifications, and Hogan
How
didn't
dare
want
you.
it done
How
that way.
silly of her to try to do that.
Why do that?
She got written up in Section 78, which is lost her position for working 10 minutes from home and falsifying a timesheet. Oh, but it gets worse. They did the same thing to her that they did to me. And there's other women that I've met throughout New York. This is a playbook. This is a sick playbook of what they do. It's in the women that worked in the New York State Justice Department by Como, women in Como's office. It's the same thing.
I've always said that they create and they set up
Exactly. Yeah.
It
these
is.
dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of regulations and rules, not because we need these regulations and rules. They're in place so that when somebody at some point down the road doesn't play by their rule book,
Doesn't play along.
then they have a number,
Something
right?
to get them.
They have a textbook full of technicalities that they can get you on.
Mm-hmm.
She had come back,
And then
from,
you're crazy if you try to oppose it. Well,
That's
it's the
exactly
rule.
what it
It's the
was.
law. You broke it, right?
So they
You're
started doing this horrific retaliation. None of it's making sense to her, and that's just it. Like, here's this rule. Here's what's always gone on. You're in all of a sudden another world. You're in the freaking Twilight Zone because nothing is making sense. So same thing happened to her that happened to me. Her health failed physically and mentally, and went through divorce. I mean, just crazy, crazy stuff. I'd heard about her, and I hired a private investigator to find her, and left a note for her after trying to reach her and said, I know what happened to you. Please call me.
Did she?
Oh, yeah. I stood up for their wedding, her wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we ended up holding each other up. How God works in mysterious ways.
Sure.
I ended up getting involved with other whistleblowers around the state, around the country. And this is a phenomenon, but in Rochester, it is an incestuous, malicious,
Dirty.
Always said
filthy. I'll tell you what,
Monroe County politics.
it's bad. And it is all the politicians.
Mhm.
What Lovely Warren did to me, she should be behind bars. What she
She
did,
still might be.
I would like her to be, but that's a nice little plea deal.
Or she could be
they
the next
It
governor.
runs deep on the GOP side, though, as well.
yeah, I think there's an Illuminati there, and I think we are a one-party system in Rochester. That's just my opinion.
Who's
I
head
love-
of it?
I love what I'm
Well, I
hearing.
hope Dan Hogan isn't anymore. I think I might have had a little.
What was that?
If you didn't want me to talk about it, they knew who I was.
Let me
And they
ask you,
took everything.
what are you doing now? Where are you now, Mary Ellen? I
Where
mean,
am I now?
you don't have your business anymore.
No.
You don't have your job anymore.
I don't have my career.
You don't have your career.
Right. Lost. You know,
But you're sick of working anyway, right?
no,
Oh.
I would have been one of I loved what I did. Every challenge that I met, I was thrilled. It was
You're good behind that microphone.
Well,
You are.
No, it was a big deal for me. It really was. It's funny. I was sitting there today, and I try not to be poor me. I'm recovering from COVID to top it all off, but I was poor me for a long time until I got my strength back. And every time I said the truth, I got more strength. Every time I made a smart ass Twitter, made a meme, back at you, I got stronger. I got my power back. They
You have
took
a good
my
Twitter
power.
account.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you. And I just say the edit is gone. It's in the brain, out the mouth, and we're lucky if it hits the brain. So I
That's
gotta tell you,
how
if they
I
come out-
operate.
Join the room.
Shocker.
if they come out together,
You're amongst friends.
we're having a good day.
Yeah.
So, and you know what?
So
I
what
was
do you
sitting
do now?
today-
Every
what do I
day?
do now every day?
Mhm.
I let the dogs in and out pretty much.
I do that.
Do you?
I know how it is.
Yeah, that's
Tom, you have
that's,
something in
that's
common.
literally my
Then I
job.
yell at them. And, you know,
I think Tom's dogs are out in the car right
that's
now.
pretty much
So
it.
they're
You know
at
what?
Grabba's.
I was thinking today how much they took from me. I have to hire somebody to rake my leaves. I have to hire somebody to clean my house. I don't.
Seems normal.
Well, see, I can't cook anymore, and cooking was my passion. It was one of my hobbies. I just started going up and down the stairs a few days ago. Okay.
You got up these stairs like
Yeah,
a boss. Like a boss.
Well, we did have to start late
I
because
saw
of
the
that.
look on
So-
John's face, and he's going, "Oh God, this
So
is
what did-
not going to be good."
So, Mary Ellen, what did COVID do to you then? I mean, aren't you like susceptible? Weren't you supposed
you
to die?
know, well, but I'm one of those no vaxxers.
I'm a no vaxxer.
Yeah, that-
Again, join the crowd.
So,
I said, you
and
look
I'm
good
one of
behind that
those no
microphone.
maskers, and I'm one of those I've really had enough of being bullied. And that's how I feel about all this. It's
Well,
just
don't
one
go to
big
Erie
vote.
County because they've got a new mandate. Now, you talk
Oh,
about dirty politics
yeah.
going on. Erie County has got to be just as bad as Monroe County. Only,
Oh, it's worse.
only at least I think you can see that coming a little bit more than you can in Monroe County. Monroe County is smooth,
The Buffalo Billion.
right?
Yeah.
Involved.
Shocker.
Seriously? Wow.
It's a
Wow.
heart attack. It's a serious. Yeah, a lot of the stuff. And then I found out this was a dandy. I found out that someone had illegally hub zone, historically underutilized business area. And that means that we have more labor and not enough jobs.
Acronym equals
Hub zone.
equals fraud, right? Anytime the government comes
Now
out with an
you tell
acronym,
me.
you know that there's
For God's
billions of
sakes.
dollars, politicians, lawyers, judges, and
Of course,
fraud
of
that are
course.
all lined up
Yeah.
like a bunch of homeless people with their hands out on a 104, exit ramp.
And there was a neon sign that said, pick me,
Yeah.
pick me, because
They're all disgusting.
Yeah, they
those
got to
people.
get the money from the taxpayers
all
to
are.
the donors. It's somehow.
They're the people
more
that
money that is more oppression means more money means more nonprofits, more
Oh, yeah, nonprofits.
nonprofits means
Those are the
more
best.
money laundering.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
nonprofits
And
are
I
nothing
found
but
it out
money
the hard
laundering
way.
schemes for the
So-
government as well.
So now what I do is I advocate for other people. I'm on Twitter and Facebook all the time because it really brought me back to life. I had a lot of interaction. I met so many people. It changed my life. I don't want to go out of here as poor her because it's not. I'm here to expose what happened to me because it should never happen to another human being again. And
But it's happening right now as we speak, I'm sure,
Yeah, but I have to say is I probably fought back more than most because they put me down more rabbit holes. I had judicial corruption. I had attorney corruption. I had government corruption. I had private contractor corruption. I had banking corruption. I had insurance company corruption. I had false arrest. I mean, the unions, oh my God, what the unions did to me. And I got, thank God. But there was a reason that this happened to me. I really do believe that I was being prepared to help other people. And so many people, I mean, we talked about it in the beginning, right? Your life, right? Your life is hanging on the line. And there's a lot of people that have been in my position that committed suicide. And I think that is not a coincidence. So I start out now, people reach out to me all day, all night. I say, I understand. I believe you, because it's one of the biggest things. Nobody could possibly believe that one woman or one man could be put through what they put me and my family through. So now I'm an ear and I try to give people encouragement. They would ask me could I research something for them? And then I would teach them how to research. Did a documentary, amazing experience. I met several other whistleblowers around the state. We all had the same stories, all had the same people involved.
Really?
I saw a video.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw the video.
Did you see
Yeah.
the video?
Yeah, a common friend of ours, Flo Engler, sent that video to me.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
So we did a movie. I've spoken in Washington. We won the Civil Rights Award, the Whistleblowers Association in Washington.
That's fantastic.
I've spoken for the veterans because some of the fraud was done in the veterans programs.
With the VA program?
For the
Yeah.
VA program.
Shocking.
So
No.
have any of these people been held accountable?
Not one.
Not one.
Not one.
You're
No, because
kidding
there's
me.
nobody to hold them accountable, because these are the same people that, just on a small scale, let's use Monroe County. These are the people that put the Supreme Court judges in Monroe County where they're at.
In office.
Like Rosenbaum.
Yeah, so 100%.
Yes.
100%. So all of these Supreme Court judges have been put there with this money.
They're all political appointees.
I
If you
call them
look at
political. Well, appointees is a nice thing to call them. I call them political hacks. The Supreme Court judges, largely in Monroe County, are nothing but political hacks. In any profession, we'd like to think that the cream rises to the top, right? In a particular profession. When it comes to us lawyers, the shit rises to the top and become the judges.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's
There are some
absolutely
good
true.
judges, but for them,
Yeah,
I know.
go ahead and protect the show.
Yeah, but they all
Sorry,
know
dude.
what's going on and they have an
They-
obligation under their oath.
There you go.
And I wrote a 10-page letter in one of the cases I was involved in and specifically put what laws they were violating, blah, blah, blah. They've all had an obligation to report it
By their own rules.
by their own rules.
By their own
not
rules.
my rules.
Exactly. Exactly. They put the rules in place. They don't follow them, and then they use them against us. That's their playbook.
Absolutely. You're going to love this one. So I would have to Google my name and find out what was going on because it was all this is true. I mean, I was buying the Daily Record to see what jobs I was on, So it's true.
That's the best.
And I started telling you before, somebody got a $16 million veteran-owned small business set aside by fraudulently and using my HUD zone. That's federal. I could have gone to federal prison. I got interrogated, and I mean interrogated, guns and badges, 8 hours to prove that I was a legitimate company and that I wasn't
that you didn't know anything about it.
Right. And that I wasn't, in a fight with somebody. And this was my way of retaliating. He walked out. He said,
Wow.
Mrs. Belding, I've been in this for 30 years and you're the first legitimate company I met. And I went, oh, that's
Yeah,
really
that's a
good.
problem.
Well, that makes you feel good, right?
Right.
And I'm like, I've now entered the twilight zone.
We are glad you came on Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People podcast network. I know Austin is going to give you a link to how you can listen and watch this.
Thanks, Austin.
It is Thanksgiving tomorrow. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? I know you said you don't cook. Are you going somewhere? Are you just hanging out at the house? What do you do?
Well, it changes every year, but I'm things got kind of goofed up. So me and the dogs are gonna.
But you're back on track. I can see you're a strong woman. It takes a lot to take you down. I can appreciate that. Mary Ellen, I told her I'm waving at her because I'm waiting downstairs. This is funny. I'm waiting downstairs for her because everyone knows if you're on time, you're already late. And I had told Mary Ellen, I said 3:45. Got to hear her at 3:45 because you guys know how I am. And you have to get set up and everything. And Mary Ellen goes, "Don't yell at me. You'll trigger me." I said, "You're late." She gives me attitude. And I'm like, I already love this woman.
And I'm thinking, this is going to go really good. How to win friends and influence people. I'm giving a class.
You're freaking late. I didn't say it that way, but I said, you're ready, but come on. Yeah. But these guys are used to it. But
so, Mary Ellen, I have one question.
Yes.
Are you drinking more, less, or not at all now?
I don't drink very much.
Oh, okay.
Don't drink
so
very
good
much.
for you.
And what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a gorgeous golden retrievers, a little psycho, and I have a puggle, which is a pug and beagle mix.
Very nice.
A puggle. Haven't heard that one yet.
Who's cooking in your house?
My wife.
Of course.
Yes.
Actually, it's a Polish turkey.
Well, it did lose its head.
Okay. All right. And just Tom?
Going to my mom's potluck. Everybody's bringing something.
That's very nice. It is very nice. Well, we hope all of our
How about
patriots.
you?
How about you?
Me, I'm cooking.
You're cooking?
I'm going home to start cooking because if things aren't made Lois's way, that's my 88-year-old mother that lives with me. If things don't go according to recipe and plan, Lois has a little bit of a meltdown, and you guys know how I can't take the meltdown. So.
I helped make the apple pie this afternoon.
Did you? I'm making the green rice tonight and whatever. So
Green rice? Is it St. Patrick's Day?
It's just it's got broccoli in it.
I
That's
saw
why
an
we call it
awesome
green rice.
meme today on Facebook posted by our esteemed colleague Patty Bardine.
Oh,
And
yes.
it said something to the effect of, I'm cooking the Thanksgiving turkey the old-fashioned way.
Going to my mom's.
I'm going to let my mom do it.
yeah.
Something like
Going
that.
to my
It was all-
mom's.
yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I got a kick out of that.
We appreciate, of course, all of our
Wonderful sponsors.
all of our sponsors. Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, of course. Also, Precision Lawn and Garden. You said that's your cousin.
Hi, Chuck. I'm at it again. Big surprise.
Precision Lawn and Garden was kind enough to spend their money with us, and
They're
they
gonna
have
have to pay us extra for that.
they have giant snow blowers. We love Precision Lawn and Garden. We love Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, of course. Taylor 500 Help. That's Taylor Heating and Plumbing, and Express Sealers. Brian out of Express Sealers. If you think that 2 inches or just a dusting is all we're going to get here in Rochester, you're going to be really surprised the morning you wake up with a foot of snow and you don't have Brian with Express Sealers to come plow you out. Contracts on the east side only. If you need someone to do your driveway or your residential or your business, he will make it happen for you. So again, we thank all of our advertisers. We hope you support them because they support us. That's going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution. Go to our website, WeThePeoplePodcastNetwork.com.
Gobble, gobble.
Anything else I'm forgetting?
Thank you,
thanks
thank you,
for-
thank you.
Thank you,
for
Mary.
coming, Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen Belding, thank you so much. We are thankful for all of our patriots this Thanksgiving. We are thankful for all of our sponsors. And Tom?
Happy Thanksgiving to all, and to all a good night. No,
That's
God
not the way.
bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.